What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Gem Mint Collectibles. It's your boy Gem Mint, aka Gem Jonah Jemison. Anyway, we're here with a statue unboxing. I'm going to do an unboxing, a review, close-ups, and comparisons. This is the XM Studios Carnage. We're going to compare it to Sideshow Carnage Comiquette and Premium Format, and it's going to all be in the same video. On a side note, this came one day early, so it's always nice to get a statue in early, y'all. So here goes this big, heavy-ass XM Studios box. Let's bust it wide open. It's crazy how these packages from Singapore come in like 2-3 days, but some shit domestic takes weeks. Alright, it's gonna be a big boy. So you got a piece of cardboard on top. You get your XM booklet, which we'll look into in more detail now that I can edit these videos. Your art print, I'll bust it open in a second. So I think what I'm going to do, I don't normally take this black box out of the shipper, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to do it. So you can see the type of packaging XM Studios provides. Here's the front. XM Studios, Spider-Man logo on the side, on both sides, XM logo on both sides of the other thing there. So XM Studios are known for their good packaging, their straps, their good styrofoam. Nice XM logo on the styrofoam here. Our shitload of Tendrils. Oh yeah, I can show that part so you can see that good there. They give a little picture from the art print and a little synopsis of who Carnage is. Let's take this top layer off. This is what you have in the top layer. All the Tendrils. Alright, and that's it. Then you got the base. And you got Carnage himself in here. You guys need to see this? Alright, let's take out this base. XM Studios pieces have a very distinct smell. Alright, now I knew this was kind of going to be bigger than it looks in pictures, and it definitely is. You guys see that good on here? Cool. So it's already got Carnage symbiote type costume on the base there. All right. Let's grab the man himself. So I was really interested to see what this texture was going to look like in person. We'll talk about it in the review. That's it. Yeah. Alright, what else do we got here? So that's Carnage. He's got a lot of switch outs. He's got a lot of different arms. He's got 3 different heads. A bunch of tendrils. Here goes a right arm. Regular right arm. Oh wow. Here goes another arm with his nice long nails there. There we go. Oh, here goes the top of the building here. Cool. Here goes one of the portraits, and the portrait that I'm most likely going to use. Here's the other portrait with the symbiote revealing Cletus Cassidy's face. We'll do close-ups on this stuff later on, don't worry. Here's another arm. So this is more of a regular arm. And the portrait with the tongue sticking out. Yeah, it looks different in person. Definitely does. Alright, now let's put this piece back on top. Let's start grabbing out all these tendrils. So we're going to have to use the instructions, I believe. Here goes another arm. With the crazy weapon. Woo! I think I'm going to have to use these arms that are weaponized, because to me, that's what Carnage always did with his symbiote. He always turned them into weapons. Not like Venom that just had like regular hands with like kind of like claws. Damn, that's crazy. So I think I'm going to have to roll with these, and they have slots for tendrils on there, so it's almost like when you pick one, that's it, almost. Which one is this here? I want to break this shit, man. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Alright, so all the tendrils are color coded. So this is gonna, oh shit, that felt weird. It's gonna be kind of like the sideshow comic cat. Alright, y'all, we're back. Man, I don't know if I ended up fast forwarding this or cutting it or whatever, but those tendrils are a pain in the ass. Damn. I mean, you got a book and they're color coded, but the thing is, some tendrils, are for, they're specific to each arm. How do I even explain it? Basically, some tendrils, if you don't use that arm, you're never going to use the tendril. So it was just kind of confusing, but ended up figuring it out. So here, let's look at the piece, man. Here goes your boy Carnage. I think all these tendrils are put into place correctly. So, out the gate, this wasn't a piece that I was like, oh shit, I have to have this piece. It was really just like, I'm a sucker for symbiotes. I had XM Venom. Gotta get XM Carnage to go with it. Yeah, he looks alright. He looks a little weird. The texture looks a little weird. This is my initial thoughts. But I'm like, alright, you know what? It'll probably look better in person. So now that I have it in person, what are my thoughts? The building is a big piece, as you can see compared to me. And I thought it would be. It's a big piece, but it really is just gray. It's really not much color to it. They do have some of the Carnage symbiote built into it so that it looks like, you know how that's how they do all the symbiote statues, you know? So he's stepping in it, but his symbiote is bleeding out onto the top of that building or that tower, or whatever you want to call it. So Carnage himself, so yeah, he's a good size piece. The sculpt is definitely dynamic and unique, that he's hunched over on the side of this sideways thing. You know, that's what I noticed when I was Sideshow. It seems like, I mean, not Sideshow, with XM, it seems like they're trying to push the boundaries of their bases and their pose, and they, you know, try to stay away from your typical small base, one leg up museum pose. So in that aspect, you got to give it to them because they're pretty ambitious in that. Also, what they're known for is a hell of a lot of switch outs. So you get 5 arms and 3 portraits. Whereas Sideshow, you typically get maybe a switch out portrait on the exclusive and that's it. You know, so XM has them beat in that sense, but the pieces are more expensive. I think this was $900 USD retail, or maybe it was 900 Singapore dollars, which is probably like 730 US dollars. But to ship it, it cost me like $350. Some people I saw got, you know, less shipping, 250 or what have you. But it could be that they're, you know, more to the East Coast. I'm more to your West Coast, so that could be it. The Tendrils are a pain in the ass, but, you know, looking at Carnage, they look good on them. I don't know if you could pick it up in camera. We're going to do close-ups and everything. But, you know, Carnage is a very wild symbiote. You know, that's his thing. He's always moving. His tendrils are flaring. His arms are changing into weapons. He's a lunatic. He's a psychopath serial killer. So his mind is kind of warped, right? So right now I have the way that I will probably pose him, which is with his arms both pointed out as weapons. I just think that those are the best representation of him. This is the regular head, which I think I'm going to use, you know, mainly to display. This portrait with his face, it looks better in person. So we'll do close-ups, but this one right here, the symbiote definitely looks really good coming from the back to go over the top of his head. It's pulling down his lip, his tongue sticking out. He's crazy with it. I don't think I'll ever use this portrait, but it is pretty sick. The other portrait is with his tongue sticking out, which I don't really recall ever seeing in the comics. And I don't really like how the teeth turn from black to kind of a white toward the bottom. And this is the same portrait they used for the art print, which I thought was kind of weird too. I don't think I'll ever use this. So the problem to me with XM, with all the switch outs, is that I'm not really ever going to use all that shit, man. You know, do I want to put them back in the... I'm going to have to put them back in the box because I don't really have anywhere to put all these arms and heads and everything, man. So there goes with your tongue sticking out. Let's see if I can switch out some of these arms without breaking shit. These tendrils, people are going to break these tendrils, I'm going to tell you like that. I mean, they seem to be pretty sturdy, but still, man, it's like... they're going all over the piece here. So that arm's going up like that. That's pretty cool. Oh, see? People are going to break these. And when I say people are going to break these, I'm probably going to break one. So here's what he looks like with his no weapon arms. Pretty cool look too. The tongue is a lot more red, like a cherry red, than I thought it was going to be. Check this out. The eyes look really cool. The eyes are like mother of pearl almost. Like they're white, but they're shiny with hints of like purple and blue in the eyes. Which is like an artistic liberty, I guess, because in the comics they're usually just big white eyes, you know? His tongue is kind of cool in here. It's got, you can see like the texture on the tongue. So this is a pretty cool look, I think, with the regular arms. And then what you could do is you could switch out this arm, which I believe I had when I was first putting it together, and this long arm with the long nails that point straight down. It's a pretty good look too. I don't know what I'm going to pose him with. So if I were to review this, so we talked about the base, we talked about the switch outs and the portraits. And the pictures, it was really hard to get a good idea of what this was going to look like. And especially at that one con where they first debuted him. Because the black symbiote part is shiny. But the red looked shiny too. And it made it look like it had this weird kind of texture. And it does have that. I mean, when the lights are on it, it shines. But when the lights aren't on it, it looks good. The red doesn't look that crazy. I was arguing with one of my buddies on Facebook. He said this was really red, whereas the Sideshow was more orange. But I think this has a little bit of orange look to it as well, man. It kind of reminds me of the same color as the Sideshow premium format. So I definitely like the piece. I don't hate it. I think it's going to look good next to the XM Venom up there. I'm going to probably put him on top of a Calyx. Yeah, but that's your XM Studios Carnage. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to get in on some close-ups. And then what I'll do is I'll pose it with the way I think I'm going to keep it. And I'll bust out the Sideshow Comiquette and the premium format. And we'll compare them, and I'll give my opinion on which is the best Carnage. Cool. Be back. The art print that comes with Carnage. XM, very classy. They include an art print with each one of their statues. I got to do something with them all one day. I think I have like 6 XM pieces right now. So here's the close-ups for Carnage. It's looking pretty good in the camera. Let's start on the base. So, massive base. You can kind of see what I was saying, though, as far as it all being like one color. But, I mean, how many colors are buildings, right? Going up to the back here, here's the part of the symbiote that's built into the building by the 2 feet placements there. Go up to the main man himself. So you see all the tendrils. Very similar to the Sideshow Studios premium format tendrils. But a lot more wild and a lot more of them. As you can see. And as I was saying before, so the tendrils also go on the switch out arms. Like that. All these Carnage pieces everywhere. So you can get a good idea of what the red texture of the suit looks. It's coming out a lot more red in the camera than it does in real life, I think. You see the white eyes, you can kind of see what I was talking about there. How it has that purplish, bluish shininess inside of it. All black mouth and teeth, just like the comics. You can see the tongue in there, like I was talking about with that crazy texture. Right? This switch out arm has these long nails. Let's switch out the portrait and show you guys a close-up. Here goes the Cletus Cassidy. So, you know, on camera here, it's looking really good. It looks better than I think what we've seen. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show you guys. So, what you can't really see that well is the back of the head and how it comes up like this. It's pretty cool. So anyway, see how it's pulling his lip down. You can see right there where it's pulling down his lip. Teeth are coming out from the symbiote. His tongue is out. He's got that crazy look in his eyes. The eye of the symbiote starting to form over here. And it's pulling at his face, and he's loving it. He's sick. He's a sick bastard. It's a cool look, man. So that's the one portrait. And then you have this portrait, which kind of a waste in my opinion. I mean, it's very similar to the regular one, but he has like a weird symbiote kind of tongue. Not like a Venom tongue coming out. Like a symbiote kind of tongue. The eyes are like a little bit of a different shape. Same kind of material. But you see, you have that whiteness in the teeth. I don't understand what they were going for with that. Just a different look, I guess. Should we do some switch outs? So let's take this arm out. We'll do his regular hands again. Oh shit, see what I'm saying? I didn't break nothing, but a tendril came out. You can see how they're color coded. If I can get a shot of it right there. There you go, so it slides in there. So here goes a shot of him with no weapons. Yeah, I don't think I'll use that. I think I'll use the regular portrait. And I think I'll use the weaponized arms. So let's switch it out. There's that weaponized arm, that long blade. Straight up Terminator 2 style. That's that. Spin this bad boy around. Try to grab this arm out. We'll grab this other weaponized arm. It's like a real weapon. So there you go. I think this is how I'm going to pose them. Don't know what I'm going to do yet with the other pieces. I know a lot of guys are using those special cases now. Those kind of like, I don't know what they are, gun case, or they have styrofoam that you can rip out the way you want. Let's spin this guy around one more time. So I think you can see in this video that the red texture is not that bad. Actually, let me stand up a little bit. So, looking at the piece, when the light's not crazy on it, the red looks straight. I already know which one is my favorite Carnage. But what I'm going to do now is set up all three of them together, and I'm going to do a comparison. All right, y'all, so here's the moment everyone's been waiting for. The comparison of the XM Carnage, the Sideshow Comiquette, and the Sideshow Premium format. So, kind of hard to get everything in the shot together. But here they are. So looking at all three, the XM Red is more vibrant. It's a little more shiny, which I think is a little bit of its downfall, but it does pop more than the other two. I gotta be honest. The Tendrils in the PF and in XM are very similar, almost like the same material, same paint, same everything. But the PF was way easier to put on, way less pieces. But I still think it gets the job done, to be honest. I think they were more efficient in the way that they did those Tendrils. The Tendrils on the Comic Cat suck. They look terrible. The Comic Cat is my least favorite out of the three. And I'm looking at the side, the XM in the premium format now. My vote goes to the premium format. Sideshow Collectibles Carnage. If the red paint was as vibrant as the XM, I think it would be a no-brainer. But to me, it just, I don't know. I think it was just done better. I think I like the base. I like the pose. He reminds me more of Carnage. XM is Carnage too, but I don't know. I think the texturing on the red part of the piece throws it off a little bit, and there's some stuff about it that just doesn't scream Carnage as much as the premium format does. I do like the XM piece. You know, now I'm looking at it more. But look at that Carnage, man. He's coming at you. It's funny. So Sideshow has less options, but I still like it better. I mean, look at the base. He's standing on these two different beams going different directions. His red is a little washed out. It's a little orangish. But I think it was just better executed. I think that the Tendrils on the XM Carnage reminded me very much of the Comic Cat, whereas they're very hard to figure out what goes where. Even with color coding, it's just in the instructions, which I said I was going to show and I didn't show. But, yeah, man. Let's get a good shot for the thumbnail here, right? Anyway, that's my opinion. Some people prefer the Comic Cat. Me, personally, I don't see how anybody could prefer this over the premium format. I just think that the premium format is way more, it's way more comic accurate, and I'm a comic guy, so maybe that could be the thing. You know, I read comics, I grew up on comics, I like all my statues to be the comic versions. That being said, I own all three pieces. I obviously like all three pieces. I wasn't as hyped for XM as much as I was for the Sideshow PF, and I still feel the same way. I still feel that PF, he's lengthy, he's scrawny, he's lunging at you. He does have a switch-out axe. You know, the switch-out weapons on this Carnage are good. But I think the pose of this Carnage hunched over, I always remember Carnage is always like in a freakish kind of, you know, pose. Not like the Comic Cat and not like the XM. I don't know that I've ever really seen him hunched on a statue or a tower like this. But that's my opinion. I would love to know what you guys think. I mean, I have them all in hand, so it might be different. But, you know, based on the video, based on what you've seen, which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments and why. And, you know, this is not a Sideshow versus XM thing. They both have their pros and cons. Sideshow has more QC issues, but pieces are cheaper, and they'll deal with replacements. XM is more expensive. Shipping is crazy expensive, but I don't think I've ever seen an XM piece arrive damaged that somebody had to return or whatever. So I don't know if that's just that crazy tank-like packaging. Probably you couldn't lift that box and throw it if you wanted to. But yeah, man, so that's my review. So let's recap, man. So I came in the game here doing an unboxing. I put it together. I skipped through some of the bullshit that I couldn't get the Tendrils in. We did some close-ups of the XM piece, and now we did a comparison. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, at the end of the day, I do this for fun. You know, it's a hobby. I enjoy sharing it with you guys. You know, I mean, sometimes you get trolls in the comments like, dude, I'm doing this for fun. This is not my job. I don't get paid for this shit. I don't have ads on my YouTube, right? So give me a fucking break here. But like 99.9% of you guys are cool as fuck. I love replying to you guys in the comments. If this is your first time checking out my video, make sure to subscribe because I have a lot of content. I get, you know, some statues in often. I have an omnibus and absolute collection, so I'll do little collection videos like every Wonder Woman omnibus or every Spider-Man omnibus. And then I do like a recent reads. Right now I'm reading the X-Men Legacy Legion omnibus. So I'll do like a recent reads, which is like a review of that. And we have a live show, Gem Mint Collectibles Live, where we talk, primarily comic book stories. So yeah, man, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up before you leave here. Hit me with that like. And I guess that's it, man. Oh, last thing. Make sure to go, if you're on Facebook, follow my Facebook page, Gem Mint Collectibles, for exclusive pictures and let you guys know what to expect. The live show. I have something coming in. I give little updates on the Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, find me at Gem Mint Collectibles and make sure to subscribe. And I might do one quick little thing at the end of this video where I show Carnage in his final resting place in the Gempire, the Gem Mint Library. So, in case I don't get to it, y'all stay minty and peace. All right, y'all, here's the last thing that I wanted to show. Was kind of where I planned on putting Carnage next to XM Venom. So he's a lot smaller than XM Venom, and I saw that in the pictures, but man, XM Venom is just a beast. And, a lot of times he is much bigger than Carnage, so I could see, where they kind of were going with that. One more thing I wanted to do here. I did want to get one shot of both of them with their human faces showing through the symbiote. I thought that would be pretty cool. Alright, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Kid's going crazy. Alright, man. Stay minty. Peace.